Okay, let's get into this week's Chalk Talk, sponsored by our friends with BCAM, otherwise known as the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. My name is Lorne Plant, and of course, joining us today, the head basketball coach at Benton Harbor, Corey Sterling. Coach, thanks for taking a few minutes to chat with us.
Hey, always a blessing, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, absolutely. And it's always great when we get a chance to talk a little West Side basketball. And first off, I know that Benton Harbor basketball specifically is near and dear to your heart in more ways than one. You played for a pair of Tigers teams that advanced to the state finals. I believe 1992 and 93 were the years. Yep. And both times you were not able to get past Detroit Pershing. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. So
Correct.
for those watching who always love hearing about the battles that took place back in the day, and those who were like, yeah, I remember that. What were the strengths of your team, the Benton Harbor squad, and what were you up against each year versus the Pershing Doughboys?
Yeah, well, with Persian, you had almost 4 or 5 Division One players.
Right.
Carlos Williams, Ty
Right.
Bergen, Willie Mitchell. Uh, Us Benton Harbor, we was Class A then, so that was before all the charter schools and the school of choice came in. So we was loaded too. I was one of the young bucks on the team. I was a sophomore, but I enjoyed the experience. Once they graduated, I became All State the following year. But just being on that ride, I learned a lot about just how to win, in game time situations. And, just to warm up on the Palace floor. I think Auburn Hill
Oh,
had
yeah.
just opened up.
Yeah.
That was, it was just the ultimate feeling. So once we did win the state championship in 2018 with Scooby Johnson,
Yeah.
everybody was really emotional because it was a full circle for everybody.
Yeah, and at the time, what do you remember it meaning? Because it had to be so meaningful for the community. They had to be supporting you guys so much, and they were just so ecstatic to have a winner and have a team that they could be so proud about, so proud to talk
Absolutely.
about. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, Ben Harbor, a basketball town. So come playoff, everybody ready to ride and get on the highway. That's
yeah,
why, guys been very successful. I've been successful in the playoffs, but
yeah,
it means a lot because again, dealing with just poverty, a lot of issues here in the city.
hmm
But when it came down to March and March Madness, we pretty much almost filled out our total side of the Auburn Hills, the Palace that year, and the year before, I think it was at Auburn Hills too.
yeah.
But
It was.
to lose by 3, I think Corey Childs missed the game-winning shot. Well, to tie it, we still was very proud
Yeah.
of just the residents, and then we do it for the city too. So Ben Harbor is just booming basketball.
Absolutely, absolutely. You were all state yourself. Tell me about your journey after high school. Did you get a chance to play at the next level? And
Yep,
also,
absolutely.
well, let me ask you that first.
Yep. So graduated in 1995. I went to a junior college, Kalamazoo Valley, for 2 years. Played for Dick Schiltz. I was All State, All American. We won the state championship, and then
Wow.
went off to University of Wisconsin Parkside, which is a
Mm.
D2. They actually in the GLIAC right now,
Okay.
and I had a great 2 years there. Graduated with my degree in 1999, and I've been back in my hometown, giving back to the community ever since. So I've been
Yeah.
coaching almost 15 years now here.
Yeah. Did you have other opportunities, or were you always convinced you were going to come back to Benton Harbor?
Yeah, I was always convinced just because my mom and dad was recreation directors. So they always
Okay.
gave back as us growing up, and I always wanted to model what they did for kids and took kids in and just helped them out. They made boys into men. So, I always wanted to come back and just lead, either give kids summer jobs and also coach. So that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years.
Yeah. And you mentioned it. What was it like for you personally to finally win that state title for the community in 2018?
Yeah, I still say that was one of the best days of my life,
Yeah.
just to win it the way we won it against a
Oh, I
good
know.
Capital Central team.
Yeah.
It came down to a game winning shot.
I know.
It was very just, it was just emotional. Still to this day, we would pop in the tape and just watch it sometimes just because. But, that was very special for the city of Ben Harbor, the residents, and it kind of turned some things around down here too.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a lot. I remember that as one of the greatest experiences we had just as state champs. State champs is celebrating 20 years this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that was one of those things, we say you had to be there. You had to be
Yep.
there to feel the
Absolutely.
energy of that.
Now it
Yeah.
was special, state champs, the show, always been a part of the show.
Right.
Real good friends with TJ or whatever. So
Yep.
we came up there in the facility when Scooby won Mr. Basketball too. So,
Right.
I'm glad. I love what you guys doing for
Yeah.
prep hoops.
Yeah. And that was wild because that was pandemic time, right? And
Right, right.
it was one of those
Yeah,
things. It just happened, and
that
so
happened.
yeah, this little inside baseball for you guys. So Mick McCabe, they needed a place that they were going to be able to hand out the Mr. Basketball Award. So
Right,
everything
right.
was shut down, and we're like, well, let's just kind of
Yep.
quietly
And
make our way into the studio
I know,
and make it
and we made
official.
it happen. It was bittersweet too because 2020 we was projected to
I
win
know.
another state championship, and everything was shut down. So I actually could have had two rings. We could have had two state championships, but hey, the pandemic just shut down everything, so we couldn't get it back.
I know years from now, I was so devastated because we were getting into district championships. That's when it got
Hmm.
shut down. And in fact, I was getting ready to go cover Ann Arbor Huron, who was taking on Ypsilanti Lincoln. And
Right.
there was a lot of talk that, that they were Lincoln wasn't going to be able to get by Huron. So
Right.
it was going to be a really good game. And I know that, yeah, there were so many great teams, especially in Division II,
Hmm.
Class B
Yep.
that
Hmm.
year. It was
Right.
going to be, River Rouge was on top of the world
Yep.
too, and you
Hmm.
guys and so many others, and it was really going to be an interesting way. But it is what it is. Let's talk
Yep. It is.
briefly about the 2022-2023 version of the
Okay.
Pirates. You guys got to the state quarterfinals a year ago, and I
Hmm.
think it was Grand Rapids Catholic Central again, the
Yep.
nemesis stepping up. You
Right.
always go back and forth with those guys. Such a great program too. How has the season gone thus far? And I'd like to hear about some of the playmakers, for your team this season.
Absolutely. Yep. So we got a Division I player, Grant Gondrzik. He's been leading us this year. We put him in a leadership role this year. He always been a natural scorer, but the last three games he had 30, 32, and then last night he had 33 points. So definitely a Mr. Basketball candidate. He will play Division I basketball. We got Mateo Hobbs. We got a transfer from Atlanta, 6'6" kid named Brian Gillespie.
Mm.
He's been averaging a double-double for us lately too. So the guys been scrapping. They playing hard. We 5-1 so far. Got a big game against North Farmington this Saturday. So we looking forward to just, you know, clicking on all cylinders going into the playoffs. But we want to play a tough schedule. Being a small school, our enrollment down to 400 now, but we
Mm.
continue on to play some of the heavyweights.
Yeah, no doubt, and I think that's important. You see that works come playoff time because of how much of a gauntlet it is if you want to make a run
Right.
to the state finals.
Right.
No question about it. And how has the 22 games helped you? Has it been able for you to schedule some more competitive opponents?
Absolutely. Yeah, because this is our first year back in the conference. We haven't been in the conference maybe like 15 years. So
Oh,
now we're
okay.
in the Lakeland Conference. So that was 8 games. So it was easy for me to pick up 2 more games. We usually in a lot of classics because being on the west side, we don't have a lot of media coverage. So
Right.
we constantly in Grand Rapids at showcases. We go to Muskegon, just a lot of showcases trying to, expose the program and the players. So, yep, the 22 games was perfect. I love that adjustment.
Yeah. All right. Got one more for you. You were recently a coach of the week for BCAM. They sponsored this particular segment. Great organization, one of the largest in the country. And we're always trying to increase membership for BCAM and ensure that coaches know they have a place here no matter what level you are at. And there's so many benefits. Can you talk briefly about what you value the most in being a member?
Yeah, I value BCAM. I value coaches. I mean, again, this profession is not easy.
Right.
That's why we always look out for one another. But being a part of BCAM, being able to vote for Mr. Basketball, every time we go to camp, they take care of us. It's a great organization. It's almost like a membership. It's a big family.
Yeah.
So I appreciate BCAM for, selecting me coach of the week and,
Yeah.
all the accolades you guys give me. If we win Friday game, that'll be my 200 win. So we're looking forward to Friday to get the big another milestone in my career.
All right. Well, that's awesome. I'm sure is this a home game?
Yep, home game against
Okay.
Niles Brandywine.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck out
Thank
there.
you very much.
Whether it happens on Friday, it's going to happen. We know that. So
Right.
congratulations
It
on
gotta happen. Yeah.
200. So that is
Yes, sir.
a huge milestone. And again, we always love covering Benton Harbor and always look forward to seeing them compete. For more information on the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan, if you want to nominate a Coach of the Week, you can go to bcam.org. Coach Sterling, thank you so much for chatting with us. Good luck this
Hey,
season.
man. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thank you.